Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we have an episode of Loadout. This series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below letting me know what kind of weapons and accessories you would like me to run with, and I will pick one of the top rated comments for the next week's episode. Also, don't forget that the Apocalypse DLC is dropping tomorrow for premium members and people with EA Early Access, so you can check out the new and potentially final DLC for Battlefield 1 starting tomorrow. I'll have a video of it and hopefully a nice stream for you guys over on Twitch. Today's top comment comes from Rebel Sniper 10, who says the Lone Survivor loadout. Primary is going to be the MP18, any variant. We went with the trench variant. Secondary is going to be the P08 Luger or the C93. I went for the C93 because I think it has better damage at range. Then our gadget number 1 is the AT rocket gun, no gadget 2. Grenade is frag, melee, combat knife. You are the only surviving blimp crew member of your once beautiful floating fortress. Scavenging for supplies, you happen to find a few handy dandy weapons to keep you safe behind the enemy lines. Fight through hell to get back to your fatherland. Now, although the MP18 is probably one of the most basic and standard and commonly used weapons in Battlefield 1, it's a weapon worth revisiting after the TTK 2.0 patch, as many things have changed, primarily the damage output on this weapon, and it's definitely worth revisiting to see just how effective this gun is. After the patch, the MP18 got a significant damage boost from 23 maximum damage to 28 maximum damage, taking its close quarter 5-shot kill down to a 4-shot kill. It also got a little bit of a vertical recoil nerf, so there's a little more vert recoil there. Not a big deal in close quarter combat, especially since you're mostly going to be using the trench MP18 in a hipfire position. If you're going to be using this little SMG, there's no point in running it unless you're going to be predominantly hipfiring. It has a slow rate of fire, 550 rounds per minute, so it's really not going to be competing with any weapons in the TTK department. It's just got a slow time to kill. Automaticos, shotguns, the Hellriegel, a lot of machine guns now outdamage this weapon in close quarter combat with TTK. The major benefit is that it's accurate when firing from the hip, and it's easy to use when firing from the hip, so you get a slight engagement advantage in terms of when you're able to get your first shot out. You don't have to ADS, you can start shooting right away, and it's accurate. Plus, you can stay more agile. When you're not aiming down sights, you move quicker, and so you can kind of get around a little bit faster with this weapon. Once you take advantage of the hip fire and the fast movement, that's where the real benefit comes in with this weapon. It's really not going to solve the issue of, hey, this guy's got a shotgun or this guy's got an Automatico or a Hellriegel in close quarters. Those weapons are simply going to outdamage you. So if you run into an equally skilled player and they have one of those weapons in close quarters, you're probably going to lose out to this. And that's where I feel like the MP18 has always been sort of a weak player in Battlefield 1. It's been a highly consistent weapon and it's very usable against mediocre opponents, but once you start going up against better players who are using some of the better weapons, this gun is going to feel like it's a bit lacking. It's absolutely a great introductory weapon to Battlefield 1 though. It's very easy to use. You don't have to ADS if you don't want to. It's quick reload. It's got enough ammo to deal with a decent amount of opponents. So it's got a lot of good things going for it, and you can stay agile at the same time. But I think once your aim gets on point a bit better and you realize that you're going to have to down people quicker in Battlefield 1 if you want to stay alive, then you're going to want to upgrade to something with a little bit faster DPS. Now, playing here on Fort de Vaux, you might think that this would be a great place to use the MP18. And although the MP18 isn't terrible here, the engagement distances are somewhat favorable for it, the map does still put you face to face with a lot of extremely high DPS weapons, and that can be frustrating. If the enemy team is on point, it's going to be a bit tricky. This gun, you're going to want to try and push your range a little bit further than shotgun range, I would say. If you're in shotgun range, you're going to lose to, well, shotguns and Hellriegels and Automaticos. So if you can try and engage it a little bit beyond that while using hipfire and side strafing, then you're sort of in the best world for this weapon. It's something that you can't really control that well, especially on Fort de Vaux. It's usually people just coming around corners right in your face, and you have to deal with them immediately, and so that's where this gun is just gonna falter a bit. As for the C93 Sidearm, it's a fun little gun to run with. I like the silver camo that I have on it, and the range on it is a little bit better than your average pistol, so you can engage a little bit further away. It's got a decent spam firing capability to it if you like that kind of handgun. Overall, it's not some sort of wow factor pistol, though. It's not going to kill people incredibly fast. It's not necessarily the most accurate pistol on the planet or has the best whatever. It's just kind of a generally decent pistol. But if you're looking for massive damage in close quarters, you've got the Obrez. If you're looking for good damage and consistency, you've got the 1911. If you're looking for like an epic spam firing pistol, you've got the 1903 hammerless. So it's not really up there on like pistols that I think about when I'm like, I want to run a really effective loadout today. C93. It's just a decent little all-around pistol, but nothing too special about it. As for the rest of the kit, it's hard to argue with the frag grenade. I always miss my ability to break down barbed wire though, so the combat knife isn't my favorite. I like the hatchet, so it can break that barbed wire for me. Then there's also the TTK concept with melee weapons. I like to go for higher damage per hit, but slower swinging melee weapons, so the hatchet I think is a 2-shot kill or 2-swing kill, whatever you want to call it. And if somebody is below that health mark, which is either like 50 or 40 health or something like that, then it puts you into the auto takedown animation, which is valuable. The combat knife is less likely to put you into the auto takedown animation because it does less damage per swing, but it swings faster. So there's an argument to be made for using higher damage melee weapons because of the auto takedown animation, but overall I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in your average performance. You can see here on Foul Fortress, now that some of these rooms are built up a bit, the hipfire and high mobility is keeping me alive a little bit better. And so it can be a fun weapon to run around with once there's a bunch of different angles and avenues on a point. But when you're faced with choke points in a situation in which you just have to head on engage your enemy, that's where the weapon is kind of the weakest. Also, I usually get asked about the skin that I have on the SMG right now. This is the PTFO skin, I believe. I think it was like an event a while back in which you could unlock it. And I think DICE has offered this skin multiple times since then. They seem to sort of recycle their more rare skin events. So if you missed the first one, you know, it'll probably come up the next time and then another time. So I don't know how you get the PTFO skin now. It might still be tied into a specific event, but that's what it is. Now, one of the more awkward aspects of recording a loadout video is the fact that I simply can't get any good gameplay on certain maps. That's one thing that you have to be really mindful of with many kits and weapons in Battlefield 1, is that if you're playing on a map that's just not going to favor the weapon you've chosen, then you're not going to get many kills or good gameplay. You're not going to be very effective, essentially. This gun is effective at close medium range. Anything outside of that, and it's really not going to be effective at all. So if I switch onto a large wide open conquest map, I might test it out for a little bit, but then realize that I'm just not going to be effective at all using this kit. So keep that in mind. The MP18 is not one of those weapons that you can just bring into any battlefield or any map and do okay with. It's not that universal or versatile of a weapon, rather. And so you're going to want to keep it for those close medium range infantry maps, and anything beyond that, just switch it up. Don't frustrate yourself trying to make this gun work in a situation it's not designed for. You're just going to come away from that situation ultimately frustrated. Now, of course, the kit does have the AT rocket gun, which you'll see here in just a second, being very effective at taking infantry out at further ranges. The thing I like about the AT rocket gun is that in a way it's better than a sniper rifle, because it doesn't matter where you hit your opponent, you hit them and they're dead with that thing. So I got pinned down here at longer range, MP18 totally ineffective, lining up my shots further away, take out a machine gunner, get a reload there, I see a medic, take another shot, direct hit, instant kill. And so this becomes my sniper weapon of choice, and it's pretty darn effective. As you can see, I just got 3 kills in a row. So don't rule out the AT rocket gun. Always remember that you have that in your kit and that it is a very effective anti-infantry weapon, especially at those further ranges, or if you see a stationary target like a bipoded machine gunner or a sniper that's just not moving. So anyway, in conclusion, despite the fact that the MP18 did get an overall upgrade with the TTK patch, some of the other weapons just got better upgrades, and the MP18 still feels a bit lacking in the DPS department, which is primarily what it's designed for. You can still play well with the weapon, it's still somewhat fun to use in the right situation, but ultimately it's never going to be one of my go-to guns. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave your comments down below for next week's episode, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.